Good morning. Good morning. You're very welcome. Okay. So take a quiet seat and we will close our eyes. And maybe you can hear the sound of the birds this morning. Maybe you can tune into that. And then just noticing what's going on for you this morning. Notice the thoughts that are moving through you. Maybe you're aware of particular thoughts that have been prevalent or forceful over the last days. How would you categorize your general demeanor in this moment? Are you at ease? Are you fearful? Are you anxious or tired or hungry or whatever it might be? Just to have a gentle sense of how you're doing. And of course, if we're experiencing difficult feelings, quite often there will be a disappointment connected to that, and that's okay. So as we sit here and we're just tuning into how we're doing, really there's layers of experience that we're becoming aware of. And one of the analogies used is this idea of a TV set, and this TV set in which there's a couple of channels, and the TV is continuously swapping from one channel to the other channel. There's the fear channel, the anguish channel, the hungry channel, the sex channel, the whatever these prevalent emotions are for us. We've got our different versions of them. And that as we practice, as we do these practices and take these moments just to begin, in a sense, to sit back a little, observe, we realize that our TV set has a remote control to it. That we can begin to have some autonomy, like a moment here, a moment there, in which we can change the channel. That there's some inkling of space between what so often can be overwhelming experiences or enveloping experiences, that we have a strong emotion and we become that emotion, and the story that we run is created by that emotion. And then a practice like this ultimately begins to support a little bit of space between the emotion, the pattern around that emotion, and our sense of self, or our sense of the observer, the witnessing of that experience. And then as we continue to practice, we continue to practice this idea of the TV set, of being the TV set, and ultimately what begins to happen is this sense of the cord that moves from the TV and is plugged into something bigger. So through our practice, as we find these glimpses of these moments, there's our capacity to really experience that we are, each of us, plugged into something bigger. And experiencing that quite often goes against years of training, years of survival mechanisms that repeat a story, a pattern around our separateness, our aloneness, our inadequacy, our not enoughness. And our practice is not to push any of that away or to shut any of it down, to allow it to be there. And through that allowing, through that capacity to allow, and in that witness, observe, notice, be present to, a bigger reality begins to unfold for us. A deeper sense of ourselves, a nourishing experience. So we can hear the birds. And can you also notice your breath? If it's comfortable, breathing in and out through your nose. And if not, the mouth is absolutely perfect too. To be with the sensation of your breath, the sensation that the breath is creating as it arises. So pay close attention to it. And as it passes away, inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Slow, comfortable, fluid breath. Just keep bringing the attention back to your breath. And the mind will pull the awareness here and there, and that's perfect. Nothing wrong with any of that. But for these next few minutes, we simply continue to bring the attention back again and again. And the breath is there, and the thoughts are there, and the feelings are there. Inhale for 5, pause for 3. Exhale for 5, pause for 3. If it's possible to go a little further, inhale for 7, pause for 5, exhale for 7, pause for 5. If that's too much, stay with the smaller number. No part of the breath is forced or strained or pushed. Mind just staying close to your breath. Keep coming back to your breath. Keep the breath you're using, but drop any of the counting. So just that awareness the breath is longer than usual. There's a pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. And make it as simple as you can. And after your next exhalation, let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Belly relaxed, eyelids heavy, tongue resting in your mouth. Breath as it naturally arises and passes away. Our practice is a moving into stillness, and it doesn't turn away from the noise and the busyness that is so often prevalent and such a part of our experience. In fact, all of that can be there, and the stillness is still present if we begin to look for it. And it's in the experience of that stillness that we develop what feels like a quality of inner space or inner spaciousness, and our capacity to meet what we need to meet in terms of the busyness of the world, or indeed the busyness of our minds, becomes not only acceptable but becomes okay. A place in which we can allow whatever is arising to arise, whatever the moment is offering us, however the moment might be, and for the beginning point of our experience to be, it's okay. And sometimes we will allow it to continue as it is, and sometimes there may be a need to step in, shift, change, to use our discernment. But our practice here is to simply allow ourselves to drop a little deeper within ourselves, to glimpse or experience that quieter, stiller space, and to, in a sense, I suppose, learn how to feel that space or know that space or access that space. Take a few deeper breaths, just a few deep inhalations, expanding the ribs, a little shrugging through the shoulders or moving the neck or the head. Take those breaths that allow you to expand and become buoyant or full. And then again, just softening the upper body. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. So this idea of gratitude. How do we access or feel or experience gratitude? And look, maybe the answer is I can't feel gratitude at the moment, and that's okay too. That's perfect. But if we were to think about it, to think about the last time we felt it, mind is a powerful tool in this way. And somewhere in the memory of that experience, there is the feeling, the kernel of that feeling, what it felt like in that moment to be grateful. And it's the beginning of letting this feeling awaken or reawaken within us. Into ourselves, to each other, and to this day. We bow. And then we'll release our hands, lift the chin, open the eyes. Good work, well done. I hope you're doing okay. I hope these practices are supporting you in some way. So there are some yoga classes on twice a week on Instagram Live on a Wednesday and a Sunday morning. And once the class finishes, they're available for 24 hours in my Instagram story. And I ask for payment or donation for those if it's possible. And of course, if it's not, then I'm delighted that you use them as a way of just supporting yourself at this time. And I wish you the very best, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, take care.